Hey y'all, I have created a little challenge for myself, and that is to use an entire month's worth of sketches from Pagemaps. So what I did was look through quite a few months of Pagemaps and selected a month that I thought I would enjoy making a layout with using every single sketch. And so I happened to pick last month's, which is August 2023. Now there's no set time on this. I'm just going to keep it on my desk, and when I feel like I want to make a layout using a sketch, this is going to be my go-to, and I will continue to use it until I've done all the sketches. I'm also going to combine this layout with another challenge that Scylla over at Choice Bits of Bliss does, using Themes on the 13th, where you pick a theme, photo, and papers and make a layout. And this ensures, along with some other challenges that she does, is that she touches kind of every type of paper that she has in her craft room. So I'm going to show you my photo, and this is my photo I'm going to use, and this was my nephew when he adopted a rescue dog. So the paper that I'm going to use is called Dog Lover by Becky Moore. And I just realized what a coincidence, because Pagemaps is done by Becky Moore. So we're getting a double dose of Becky Moore. And I don't know what year this is from, because of course they don't put years on it. But I do believe I bought it last summer at the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo. And so I don't know how old this line is, but it's called Dog Lover. And I do like that the colors are kind of bright, because this photo, because, you know, at an animal shelter, they're not very colorful. You know, look, you got the gray floor, the tan walls, the tan door, the concrete. So I thought I would brighten it up a little bit using this collection. And let's flip through it real quick. And I did see something I wanted to use when I looked at it. We have a little tag here that says Rescue Pup. And this line has a smooth feel to it. It's not shiny, but it is not like the typical photo play. I want to say it's almost like a color play line. So what I did was I went ahead and flipped each page over so you could see both sides pretty quickly. These are my options for this layout. I'll have to look and see if I have any of the ephemera that goes with it. But anyway, so as far as the sketch, I had looked at two options, and it was this one with the wreath, and then this one. Okay, now each of these has two photos, but of course you don't have to use two photos. But I thought I could use a photo and one of the cut-aparts, because I like this. Rescued is my favorite breed, which goes perfect with the photo. So I think I want to use that. And that'll work with either one of these layouts, because I can flip this layout. I can flip this little photo for it to be vertical instead of horizontal. You don't always have to follow the sketch directly, but I am kind of one of those who does that. But sometimes I will stray off of the sketch a little bit. But ultimately, I think I'm going to do this one. And instead of using a wreath, I'm either going to do some stitching, or I'm going to cut out some circles to go back there. So that is my plan, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I thought I would share a little bit of my thought process. I think for my background paper, I am going to use the puppy paws, because it does pull in some of that tan. And for the big block here, I'm going to use this maroon stripe, because I'm kind of doing the opposite, because they have more of a plain pattern on the background and then a busy pattern here. So I'm going to flip it and do the busy background for the full 12 by 12 and then the more plain pattern here. And then this may be for my journaling, and then I cut out the rescued is my favorite breed, and they're going to go here and where that little vase is at in the journaling. And I think I'm going to trim these down a little bit. I can trim off at the sides a little bit, and I can also trim off the top and bottom to make them smaller. And then I will use this green and the dog houses for these two papers, these two squares here. And then there's some trim here, you know, a strip underneath the photo, so I can pull from either this paper or my sticker sheet, because there is a collar here, you know, for a border. And then I think for my circle, I don't have a ton of paper options. I'm going to use the blue bones and do my circle. I don't know if I'll do one or two. I'll figure that out when I get to that point. And it does look like there is some stitching. There's just some little dots around the outside of this floral pattern here. So I might do some stitching. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so I am back with my completed layout, and just as a reminder, I use this sketch right here from the August 2023 Pagemaps, and I pretty much followed it to a T. I did use the papers that I had planned on using. I didn't really change any of that. I used my Creative Memories big circle template to cut this circle out that was in place of the wreath. I did map my photo in black, because I am going to journal right here in black. And I used, now I can't find it. Oh, here it is. I don't use foam to to raise up my papers. I mean, I use foam dots. A lot of people use like the fun foam to raise up a photo. I just keep my backings to chipboard stickers, and that's what I use. I don't like to spend money on things that you don't see on a scratch page. Just to give it a little interest over on this side, I did use the same paper that had bones on it, dog bones, and maybe a couple of photo corners here, because I opted not to do any stitching at the moment. I did layer my papers here. Now, because this green and this blue, the dog houses, were kind of both busy papers, I didn't want to put them next to each other. So I used another piece of this blue, dark blue paper to kind of create a buffer in between those two busy patterns. While this has a pattern on it, it's monochromatic, so it is not as obvious. I used the strip paper to create these two strips right here. I used the wolf off of the sticker sheet. I really didn't put a whole lot of embellishments on it because the papers are so busy. I felt like I didn't need a lot of embellishments. Now this came off of a cut apart. I did cut this out of a cut apart, the little dog house, and the edges here, because it was on a cut apart, were flat. So I just tucked this side under the photo so you couldn't see that the bush was cut off, and on this side I tucked it under this circle so you couldn't see that the bush was cut off on this side. And I think that's pretty much it for this layout. What I'm going to journal about, I didn't do the journaling because I want to get this up today for Themes on the 13th, and I figured I was going to have to wait till next month because I was going to go outside and do some work. But I went outside, and not 2 minutes after I walked outside it started rumbling, and it's been storming. So it was a perfect opportunity to come up here and get this layout finished. But what I'm going to journal about is my nephew taking on the responsibility of being a dog owner. And he went and rescued Lainey. That's what he named her. And it turned out that she had parvo. So the rescue center gave him the option of bringing her back. Well, you know what would happen if he had brought her back. They probably would have just euthanized her and not tried to treat her, because treatment is expensive, and it was expensive. So he opted to treat her because, you know, there's no guarantee that she would survive, or that, you know, she would be okay even if she survived. And so we all pitched in and helped him out a little bit financially, and she came through it like a trooper, and she is a sweet girl. So that's what the journaling is going to be out for this layout. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.